What's up everyone and welcome back to another PoE economics video. So today we're going to do another profit craft, and this time we're going to craft some boots, and these boots are even more expensive than the Lich circlet helmet that we crafted last time. So make sure to check out that video as well if you haven't seen it yet. Now before we start off with the craft right away, I want to just quickly mention that we'll look through this craft through the recipe on poeconomics.com. So when you see the site where we basically go through these different steps, you can reach it by going to poeconomics.com. I highly recommend to join our Discord, which will be in the video description as well. Let's get started with the craft itself. To start off with this craft, we're first going to get our base. So what we want is a item level 85 plus Fugitive boot, which has to be rare. If we have a magic or a normal boot, that's also fine, just Regal or alchemy it. Now that we've bought the base, we're going to add a Redeemer Exalted Orb to add an influence. So now that we've added the influence, the next step is going to be to add an Orb of Scouring and an Orb of Remembrance to hit 80 plus strands. We will continue on spamming the Orb of Remembrance until we have 80 plus strands. Okay, so we've got 87 memory strands, and next we're going to make the item magic on the crafting bench with a random modifier. After we've made it magic, we're going to use a Craggy Chimeral with 3 beasts each, and we're going to use that on the bestiary to imprint the boots a couple of times. And afterwards, we will use a Regal Orb until we have a rare item with 75 plus strands. So we're just going to put our item in here and then create an imprint of a magic item. If you don't have a Craggy Chimeral that you've used yet on here, this won't appear. So make sure to get one of those and then right click them. As well as for the rare creatures, you of course need to buy them and add them into the bestiary. So since we now have an imprint, we can use our Regal Orb, and we're at 73 memory strands, so we'll use our imprint and then get another. So we're going to try again, and we got exactly 75 because we've actually started off with a very high strand count, which was 87. We basically tried to also accordingly get a very high strand count from the Regal. And so we saw, even though we had 75 plus before, we're actually going for a bit higher here, and we hit 86, which is amazing. This is the tier 1 roll. So this is the ideal scenario, and this is how we will continue. So the more strands, the better. The next step is going to be to add the Onslaught mod. So we're going to the crafting bench, and then we're going to select the physical modifiers and just spam this item until we have tier 1 Onslaught. So as you can see, we've just got Onslaught, and it also added the gain % of physical damage as extra cold damage as a prefix, which it always does if we reforge physical, so that's very nice. Now we're going to remove all the suffixes other than Onslaught with an Orb of Annulment. Now here you want to remember that we want to keep gain % of physical damage as cold damage. So as you saw, we instantly removed the Onslaught. What we're going to do now is go back to the Harvest bench and hit tier 1 Onslaught again. Okay, so now that we've removed all of the suffixes except chance to gain Onslaught, we're going to use an Orb of Dominance to elevate the Onslaught modifier. And luckily, we've immediately hit Onslaught. So the next step for us is going to get Suffixes cannot be changed on the crafting bench and then use another Orb of Scouring. So this actually removed all of the prefix modifiers, and now we can buy a random item level 80 plus Hunter boots. Okay, so we've got ourselves some Hunter boots, and now for these boots we're going to reforge the physical on the Harvest bench until we hit tier 1 Tailwind. As you see, we've hit Tailwind, and I've also done the next step right away, but sadly I forgot to record it. So just hit your Tailwind, then use an Orb of Dominance, hit the Tailwind. If you don't hit it, go to the site and there's a step for when you have missed it. So just click on that and follow these instructions after that, where basically it was to buy another one of these boots and try again. And if you've hit, you want to go to the bestiary and you want to imprint these boots. Okay, so now that we've got our imprint, next we're going to use Apply Hidden Chorus Lock on Magic Item and then use our Awakeness Orb with the first pair of boots until we hit either Tier 1 Resistance or Tier 1 Suppress. As explained, we apply Hidden Chorus Lock here, then we apply the Awakeness Orb on the Hunter boots, as well as hover over our first pair of boots until we see if it would match our desired results. If it doesn't, we use a Chromatic Orb on our first pair of boots, and then we do the same all over again until we get our desired results. So since we've got the suppressed spell damage that we want, we'll just click it, and now we've got the perfect item. Okay, so now we need to do the prefixes, and for that we're going to use a Wild Bristol Matron in the bestiary to get Suffixes Cannot Be Changed, because I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to get me that Wild Beast Matron, even though it's a bit cheaper. I'm going to use the Suffixes Cannot Be Changed through the crafting bench for 2 Divine Orbs. Now that we've got Suffixes Cannot Be Changed, what we'll do is we'll try to get the Elusive mod. Okay, since luckily we just got the critical all by itself and no other prefix modifiers, we don't have to follow after these paths where we basically have the failure paths if you get 2 prefixes or 3 prefixes. We're just going to press I got an Elusive mod. If you want to see how these are done, go visit the site, they're all there. And then we're going to get Suffixes Cannot Be Changed again, then use a Veiled Exalted Orb. Okay, so now we have a 50-50 chance to remove the Elusive. Okay, so we'll just right click our Veiled Exalted Orb and left click it on our boots. So sadly you can see we missed. We didn't remove Suffix Cannot Be Changed, and as such we need to press it removed Elusive. Now, since we already got Suffixes Cannot Be Changed, we're going to use the Reforge critical on the Harvest bench again. We got lucky since we only got 1 modifier. Now we want to get Suffixes Cannot Be Changed. And we'll use another Veiled Exalted Orb. So now we've actually got 2 modifiers with the critical. So what we're going to do, I'll just show this exemplary, is get Suffixes Cannot Be Changed and then use an Orb of Annulment. And we remove the right one. So now we'll use another Veiled Exalted Orb. So now we've actually removed Suffixes Cannot Be Changed, so we can continue on with the last step, which is to craft 2 maximum life on the crafting bench and then unveil the item for a 100% chance to hit movement speed. We go to the crafting bench, select 2 maximum life and just hit this over and over again until we have the max roll. So now that we've got the max roll, we're going to unveil the modifier and we'll get movement speed with a 100% chance. We got the worst roll. Sadly, we can't change anything about that. So this is the last step and this really is unchangeable. Okay, so now pricing that item, you can see that we can sell it for about 300, maybe 310 divines. And this is something that you will achieve no matter how your mods roll, and it will always be this price. So thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure to check out our Discord as well as the website in the video description. And a special thanks to all of our channel members. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.